And today we're kicking off a new series, which feels funny to say. But yeah, calling it the art of analysis, which is not intended to brag on my analytical skills. On the contrary, if you're watching, you should keep in mind that, this channel's rating currently is 1120 and is probably going to go down before it goes up. We're trying to get to 1400 by June. That's the goal. In the rapid time controls, so playing 10-minute games to get to that rating. And today we're going to start doing a series of analysis videos, and I thought we would hop in and take a look at my game with Timbo. I found it to be an interesting game. Timbo winds up playing the Nimzowitsch variation of the Sicilian defense, which is not a widely known or played variation. We both misplay it in the opening. We both, I think, can learn from this game and just a bit about opening philosophy and strategy. So let's go ahead and get started. And actually, I wonder if I still have the window open going over the main line. I think that I do. Let's just jump over here real quick. Okay, yeah. Okay, so white opens with e4, black responds c5, so the Sicilian is on the boards. White plays knight f3, knight to f6. This is the move. So this is the, Hanging Pawns, a YouTube channel, really wonderful YouTube channel. He does a whole video breakdown of the Nimzowitsch variation. I strongly recommend checking that out. He suggests that at lower ratings, you might want to learn this opening because it will surprise your opponent. Well, I've since played as black with the Nimzowitsch variation against weaker players than myself or Timbo here. And I don't, at this level, maybe Hanging Pawns is right when you get more towards 1500 to 2000. But when you're at this level, opening theory is more about, people learning patterns that are similar to Scholar's Mate, right? Like a lot of opponents that you're going to run into at the lower ranks, they're learning tricksy, not even really openings. Maybe they are openings, but there's just a lot of like super aggressive moves in the first 10 moves has been my experience anyway. But let's keep rolling here. Knight c3, pretty normal developments. E6. Now, already I think we're starting to get away from the main line. We'll review the main line in just a second, but just to get us up a few more moves, white plays d4. I'm white here, Nimzowitsch chess. d6, bishop to g5. So this is the move where I want to pause on first. You can see that this bar over here, we're now at a dead even. This was a bad move on my part. I had been up 1.63. And this bar, by the way, it just indicates basically a point is the value of a pawn, and the chess engine for chess.com Stockfish is just evaluating, overall tactical strategic possibilities together with the material that's on the board, and that's how it arrives at this number. So that's why you're going to see it fluctuate as we move forwards. Is every move affects it because every move affects your position. So I play bishop g5. And the computer really doesn't like this move. And yeah, that's the purpose of going into analysis. That's going to be the purpose of these videos, is even though we're not that great either at chess or analysis, just trying to see what we can learn. So I wanted to show the main line of the Nimzowitsch. And again, Hanging Pawns goes over his video, he goes over the main 3 lines, but he does go over the line we're about to see in some significant detail. And man, hold on to your butts, because this is a fairly crazy opening. So we have c5, e4, c5, knight f3, knight f6. The Nimzowitsch variation is on the board. e5, this is the, I guess you could call it the advanced variation. Maybe that is what it's called, I'm not sure, but this is, again, the main line. This is what you're supposed to do. This is, this is all theory that we're going to be watching. Knight to d5, getting out of the way of the pawn attack from the e5 pawn. Knight c3, again hitting the knight. e6, defending. Knight takes d5, e takes d5, d4, knight c6, hitting this pawn twice now. White takes d, takes c5, bishop takes c5, and this is, the normal position, the normal starting position of the Nimzowitsch. It's a fairly untenable position. Black does not have good chances. Hanging Pawn's point was, if your opponent doesn't know the theory of the Nimzowitsch backwards and forwards, they don't know the main candidate moves, then you could have a significant advantage with black. This right here isn't a horrible position. However, we keep moving. Queen takes, queen comes out, bishop c4, bishop takes f2, check. Again, this is the main line of the Nimzowitsch. King to e2, castles. So that's this is what the board is supposed to look like in a standard Nimzowitsch variation. That's not the situation here. What the computer wanted was for me to more closely follow the main line. The computer wants captures. D takes c5. And white's response to that, you can see up here, these 3 lines, if you've seen these, if you've gone into analysis and you're not entirely familiar with what they are, I wasn't until relatively recently, and basically this is just stockfish. You can turn this on or off, toggle it on or off with this button right here, the show lines. This is showing the top 3 lines of play that the computer has found, that Stockfish has found and recommends. So in this case, it's saying your best move is black, is queen to a5. Now, this is a commonly talked about topic. I've at least seen Gotham Chess talk about this, also a chess YouTube guy, and an IM, that you should take the engine's advice with a grain of salt. The engine does not play like a person. It does not see the board like a person. So no need to just blindly follow the engine's analysis. And we'll actually, I think we'll have some opportunities in this video to see why and how the computer might be advocating something that isn't in your best interest. So here, so that's what the computer recommends. I should have taken, but yeah, let's see that line through, right? Takes, oh wait, no, that's not how that goes down. Takes, queen a5, queen d3, queen takes c5, bishop to e3, threatening the queen, queen to c7, and this is better for white, so it would have been to my advantage to capture that pawn. Um, not a great position for black. Moving to, wait, right? I can't move there. Oh, is it white's move? Right, yeah, sorry. E5, D takes E5, knight to B5, right? Knight. Oh, right. Knight to B5. Queen A5 check. So this is also not the main line. This is just what the Stockfish engine is recommending as a line of play. The normal response here is bishop to D2, bishop to B4, queen D6. Wait, is that no? C3. Yeah, okay, yeah. You'll see these lines change as Stockfish keeps calculating. So C3 is the recommended move, but I think we'll pause going down this variation here. Gosh, yeah, very complicated position. And this is what the engine recommends. I think you'll find that Timbo and I played a much more staid game, but this is something that I see very common when I'm going over my games. Is the computer wants me to be capturing earlier, capturing in the opening, not just pushing my pieces forward, pushing my development forwards. So that's what I thought I was doing here. I thought this was a perfectly fine move. I'm pinning the knight to the queen, posing a real threat. Timbo responds bishop to e7, removing the pin. I play e5, adding additional pressure to the knight and also black's d-pawn. Knight moves to d5, which again we are, you can kind of see this is in the family of the Nimzowitsch variation. D5 is commonly played, but normally, just to go back to it, normally when d5 is played, it's actually move 3. And there's a lot less happening on the board, so we eventually do arrive at a somewhat similar position to the main line, but you can tell, like, yeah, it's we were pretty far off the track. Neither of us was terribly close to the theory. Okay, I move knight to e4, f5, putting pressure on that pawn. It really didn't like that move. Really did not like that move from Timbo. Let's actually go in and see what it thinks should have happened there. Yeah, and see, let's go ahead and retry this. And I guarantee, yep, that's the best. But we saw why it thinks it's the best, and it arrives at, I think, a less tenable position than the one I wound up playing. Let's just skip that. Okay, yeah, so this is the move. Yeah, this is the move. It really hates this move from Timbo. So let's see if we can't figure out what black should have played here. Excuse me. I guess this is going to be a long video. I'll try not to belabor the point too much, but there are a couple other highlights I wanted to hit. I'm going to go with queen a5 check. Let's see how that does. I bet it's an okay move. It's a good move, it's going to say. Or an accuracy. I don't know. Probably an accuracy. Oh, it's a blunder. Geez, okay. Well, let me retry it, though. Wait. This is not what we want. We want something up here. Okay, this is the move we want to retry. Okay. What about f6? That's not ideal, but it does kick this bishop away, but it also weakens the king sides. I guess the point is or maybe you just capture? Does it want me to take his bishop? It does. Let's see the line. Let's see the line that it likes. Captures, castles. Geez, I wouldn't have played that. Oh, geez. Interesting. You know, I mean, this is kind of what I was talking about, right? Like, I don't necessarily, well, why? Knight takes h7. What happens if king captures? Queen h5 check. King to g8. Knight to g5. Queen takes... Oh, queen has to take g5. Oh, wow. Yeah, what can I say? I would not have caught that. Let's see that again. Yeah, I didn't see this attack. That marks as a brilliant move, and understandably, that's a great sacrifice. I just didn't see that at all. Queen to h4 is best. D takes e5 is the response. G3. Queen to h6. The computer really likes its moves. Look at this. Great move, great move. Very congratulatory. D takes e5. Knight to c6. All these brilliant moves. Bishop to b5. It's excellent but not best. c4 maybe? Bishop to g2 is best. Yeah. Okay, so in any case, that's not the way the game progressed. I captured his bishop. Well, yeah, just to take us back, here's where we were. Pushing his f-pawn forwards, the computer thinks is a fatal mistake. And actually, yeah, you know, let's go back into review. Did I miss something there? Will it show me the line? See, I thought I was in review. Show me the line. Look at that knight. That is a strong knight. I can about guarantee I wouldn't have arrived at that position. I just wouldn't have seen it. But, okay. well, let's keep moving here. So bishop captures, queen captures, knight knight to g5. Only now castles, king sides. Not a very strong position for black. I've made good inroads already into his territory. I was probably expecting something like h6, bishop to c4, threatening the knights, but I think really I had my eye on this diagonal. I'm not interested in trading, I don't think. We do see h6 played, knight to h3, d takes, knight takes, knight to d7, knight to g6. Let's slow down here. This is a pretty critical moment in the game. So Timbo confirmed he did not see this threat. So it seems d takes e5 was also a mistake, a fairly significant mistake for black, although really right here the engine has him as better. That move about equalizes us. The computer's not terribly impressed with knight takes e5. Now it really likes my chances. And that's probably because of knight to g6. So we're up. It's interesting that it only has us up 2.65 because we've just forked a queen and a rook, and I don't see an available check for black to get out of this. Captures the rook, queen takes, castles, b6, queen to e2, striking the e6 pawn. Queen moves to protect. Computer really does not like that move either. Now, I think here, this probably was not a great move. The top candidate move is bishop to d5, or bishop takes d5. Let's see what happens if that plays out. Bishop takes, and then the computer has not a recapture, which would lose black's queen. Oh, okay, so that's rook to b8. So I was being a very silly bear. So that, look at that, interesting. I've got a bead on black's queen. If I simply capture here, capture that knight, black takes, oof, that's rough. Queen takes queen. So I just didn't see this during the game, but yeah, that's a pretty strong move. Instead, I play the somewhat confusing queen to d3. Black plays bishop b7, cutting me off from that diagonal. And yeah, white is still much better here, but black has mounted a mid-game defense. Knight d4, king f8, rook to e1, queen e7, preparing to move his rook over, double up on the e file. Knight captures, bishop captures, and now he doubles up. Takes, removing, threatening the rook rather, capturing the open file. Captures, and yeah, black is in a lot of trouble. The computer has us up 9 points, so the equivalent of a queen. And, you know, really at this point, the game is lost, but it goes on for quite a while. advancing the g-pawn, bringing my bishop back, attacking my queen, check. And, you know, here black, I think, loses his way. And it's that move right there. The queen can't leave. If the queen captures, I just capture right back. Yeah, well, actually, I couldn't pick up that knight, but in any case, that's the end of, well, that should have been the end of the game. We'll just go ahead and see the rest of it through. Actually, maybe it's, well, yeah, we're almost done. Yeah, and at this point, I obsess over this A file pawn and just start pushing. Yep, and that's pretty much endgame. There we are. Let's see what the review would otherwise suggest. Okay, we'll start here. So it really doesn't like this move, although this wound up being winning for us. But E takes there. Is that a powerful move? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm threatening the queen there, but that looks like a pawn that is just doomed, right? Golly, sure is having a tough time calculating. I'm not sure what's going on. It doesn't... That's weird. Knight to d7 is a blunder. Oh, right. Duh, because you need to protect against knight to g6. How to do that most efficiently? Probably with the queen. I would guess this requires a queen move. Okay. Let's see this play out. We'll wrap this video up in a second. Right, and we know the answer to this one. Queen e3 was a terrible move. I don't even know what I was thinking. Maybe I do. I think I was thinking maybe I have some chances to pick up this rook, depending on how these exchanges go down. But it was a thoughtless move, I think. As we know, best is bishop takes d5, because if pawn takes d5, queen captures. So that all makes sense. Yeah, we'll just, retry, yep. Doesn't like queen to e7. That's interesting. And I think it's just going to run the rest of the game out. It doesn't have too much to say, despite making a couple of mistakes in there, both of us. And so that's it. That's, I would say we learned a couple of things. We learned the Nimzowitsch variation. When you see it, especially at lower ratings, probably the person doesn't know what they're doing. And it could be you have pretty good chances against black if you see the Nimzowitsch being played. So again, that's knight f6 after entering the Sicilian. And yeah, I don't know. I'm focused on this move because what the computer recommends leads to such a chaotic game. But I guess that is the nature of the Nimzowitsch. But to me, bishop g5 is a pretty staid move. It does just lead to, a bishop block, but I don't know that I agree with the engine there. Also this move, knight e4. I feel like this sets us up for some this critical knight pair. And this move, this is probably the most concrete lesson for beginner level players such as myself and Timbo, is you can't move a pawn backwards, and Timbo here really wanted to kick my knight away. If he can, and I think I commented on this in the game, if he can, then this bishop is being attacked twice and only has the one defender, so it would have been really bad news for me. But it opens up his king side, and this attack on my bishop is fairly easily dealt with just by capturing, although the computer doesn't like that either. I think what it likes here is maybe knight captures check. Yeah, exactly. Which is pretty bad news for black, and I should have caught that. So yeah, so that's our first deep dive into a game. I know this was a bit long and meandering and not the most helpful, but we're trying to get there. We're trying to dive into these games. Maybe not every game, but I am going to try and do a bunch of analyses. I'm also going to try and make these videos a lot shorter. All right, that's it for now. Thanks. Bye.